Hi, this is Dennis Consorte with Snackable Solutions, and I have Angela Santi. And Angela, tell me about Angela Santi Consulting.
Hi, Dennis. First of all, thank you very much for having me on your show. So I am a business and lifestyle consultant known as the Dolce Vita lifestyle designer. So what I do is I empower passionate, overloaded, high achiever and successful entrepreneurs, business owners, and experts worldwide to scale their business, avoiding burnout, and living la dolce vita, the sweet life instead.
That's wonderful. Where does that expression come from, the Dolce Vita?
So the Dolce Vita is the worldwide famous Italian signature lifestyle. And it comes from a movie, originally from a movie by Federico Fellini called La Dolce Vita. And then it really is used worldwide to describe the unique lifestyle of Italians. And what is this lifestyle, Italian lifestyle? It's an attitude. It's the ability to combine like work and being super determined, focused, and committed to business, to work, to what you want to achieve, but at the same time, being able to detach when it's time to enjoy your life. And it's also the ability to cope with challenges in a lighthearted way.
Wonderful. And do you practice this mostly with people in Italy, or are your clients around the world?
So I've started with clients in Italy because even though La Dolce Vita is the Italian lifestyle, not all Italians are applying this kind of lifestyle. And last year, I decided to open and go internationally. So I started with Europeans, and now I'm really moving my feet overseas with the Americans, because I've noticed that there is a lot of Americans that are unable to relax and to detach from their business.
You have that correct. We need to do a much better job of that here in the States. And what got you into this business? Why are you so passionate about what you do?
I was one of them. I like to say that I had 4 lives, and in one of my past lives, in this life, I was working in corporate. And by the way, it was my family business. And I was a change manager in charge of organizational development and HR development. And I was a member of the board of directors. So in these roles, and being the only woman in this industry, and we were a top player in the automotive dealership business, distributors business, I was a woman there, and I have to be like a best manager. I have to mimic those men that were like in the top positions. And I really became super controller, and I was working all the time, and I was a perfectionist, and I never stopped. So what happened is that in 2008, when Lehman Brothers crashed, my family business crashed, and I realized that I was successful at the time where my family business was so successful, but I didn't have a life. And when everything, my world crashed, I was like, did I do that for? I mean, life is one. So I started going back and studying again this Italian lifestyle, Dolce Vita lifestyle, and I started to apply to my way of working and of living, and I was much better off, and I am much better off. So I'm always alternating doing and not doing, which is something that dates back to the Roman Empire. And I really use downtime and lazy time and fun time, friends time as a strategic part of my business model. And I tell you that it worked.
That's great. It sounds like you've helped a lot of people. Do you want to share one story with us?
Yes. I tell you the story of one of my favorite clients. I won't say her name, but let's call her Anna. And Anna is a very successful consultant, and she's a solopreneur. So she is a winner, and she wants to have everything right with her clients. So she came to me that she was overworking, she was super tired, she was under delivering, and she was in a negative loop because she was spinning her wheels so much that she was having success, but not as much as she wanted. Plus, she had this next shiny object syndrome. And then she had the syndrome of when you never say no. So people please it. Yes, 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 yes. So when she came to me, I really had to teach her how to stay much more focused in what she was doing, and also to schedule down her downtime first, something that she wasn't doing because she was feeling guilty about taking downtime. So she applied some of those, my ideas and my suggestions. And one of the things that I teach to my clients is to leverage the power of routine. So you start changing a little habit, you analyze your habits, and then you start changing a little habit. And then when this habit becomes a habit, you change another one. So you do it very easily without pushing yourself. And the first thing is always to reward yourself every day with something that you like. So in a very short time, she completely changed her way of working. She worked less, I would say 20% less. She was able to have like 4 weeks of holidays in summer and 2 weeks for Christmas, and even all her weekends off, which she used to work. And then she was much better off with herself, with her clients, with her relationship, and overall.
That's a beautiful story. And let me ask you, who is your ideal client? And when they first come to you, what should they expect in their first meeting?
Mm-hmm. So my ideal clients are business owners and experts. They are already successful. They are A-type. They are operation ninjas. They are super passionate, multitaskers, and they are on the verge of burnout, I would say. They are really super tired and they are under delivering. They understand that they can work in a much better way, but they don't know how to, or they fear that if they let go something about their business, nothing will work as good as when they are putting their hands everywhere. So when they come to me, the first thing that we do is that I analyze it through what I call my methodology that is based on what I call the 4 pillars of La Dolce Vita, and meaning system, skills, mindset, and routines. So while I really assess their typical day, I check all those 4 dimensions. And I also check if everything they do and these 4 dimensions are not only aligned among themselves, but also to their business and their life vision. Plus, I want to make sure that the vision for their business is aligned to their vision for their life, which generally are going into opposite directions. So what I do is I start giving them ideas to what they have to change in all of those 4 dimensions. And what I like to do with my clients is that I work only one-on-one in a very tailor-made way. So for me, there are no fixed number of calls. There are no fixed number of access to me. The duration of the call is very flexible because it really depends on my client's needs. And working this way, I am really able to deliver very, very fast successes because I'm all for my client. I like to say I'm in my client's pocket. So whenever they need me, they can write or Voxer me.
That sounds great. Very good. And I feel like the state of the world today, there must be a lot of people who need help from people like you. Here in the United States, we talk about the Great Resignation. People are quitting their jobs everywhere. What are your thoughts on all of that?
I totally understand it. And in Italy, something similar is happening. I think that due to the lockdown, people were first forced to stay inside their houses. And this is in a way a metaphor of looking inside themselves. So there are those people that were scared of looking inside themselves, but many other people understood that they were having a very bad life quality. And maybe some of them are, hey, where is my COVID time? Because COVID time is really downtime with no sense of guilt. So I really think that this is the right moment where the whole world should change, and the whole workplace culture should change and become much more human, I would say. To me, the workplace culture is, with all this emphasis on productivity, is treating men and women like machines and not like human beings anymore. So people are understanding it, all the employers, and they're saying, okay, no, I don't want to live this way anymore. So I really think that there is a general awakening, and people are getting back to their values and understand the real, I mean, success is not real success if you have only money and profit. You also have to have an overall good quality of life. And I wouldn't say call it balance, like work-life balance changes according to the stage of your, when you are very young or when you are much more ahead in your career. It really depends. It's different. So it's not a balance. It's really assessing what you want, what you're willing to do, what you are not willing to do anymore. So this is why I say what I do is now important, because I am teaching people how to be happier, because they weren't, as you know, that happy, and they didn't know.
I love it. And that brings us to the last part of this Snackable Solutions interview. I would love to hear what your snackable solution is for people if they're new to this, they've gone through this introspection that you were talking about. What would you say to them as something they can do right now?
First thing I would say, when you define your priorities for the day or for the week, ask yourself, who is defining this priority? Is it for a priority of mine, or is it a priority of somebody else? Then when you schedule your week, make sure that every day there is at least 5-10 minutes, even what if you can also an hour or more of, I call it the 4F times. It's friends, family, food, and fun. So this is mandatory. And schedule this before everything else, so that you reduce the time you are working. And why is that? Because the more time you have to complete your task, the more time you will use. And if you compress your time, you stay much more focused, and then you know that you have a reward when you have finished, and your mind is looking forward to that reward. So it's easier to say no to everything that is distracting you to get to that reward. And then another thing that I would say, start to say at minimum like 4 or 5 no a day. No to distraction, no to yourself when you are, you know, like diverting from what you're doing, no to other people. You can say no in many creative ways so that you create boundaries. And again, be super focused in what you are doing. And talking about focus, I am not at all a fan of to-do lists, because to-do lists can be super frustrating if you don't like mark out all the tasks. So what I prefer to do, and what I encourage your audience to do, is to just schedule activity blocks and do as much as you can during that block. Schedule also between one activity and the other distraction time, so that you can deal with the distraction during that moment, and it's planned. So it's not wasted, and it must be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And when this time is over, you have to stop. And the last thing, again, try to do as many things as possible in autopilot, because leverage the power of routines.
That sounds like wonderful advice. And I want to ask you one more question, which is, you talk about saying no to people, and you're right. So many people have a hard time doing that. You said that there are some creative ways to say no. Can you talk about one or two of those ways that people can say no?
Yes, you can go with the traditional not now, or I can do it 5 minutes, or is it so urgent? Something that I like to say is the house or the office burning down that it's so urgent that I answer to you? So you can say it smiling, but not now is, I think, one of the most powerful. Or can I come back to you in 10 minutes or something like this?
That sounds great. Awesome. So tell us again how people can find you online. And if there's anything else you'd like to share with the audience, please feel free.
Thank you. So you can find me online on my LinkedIn profile, Angela Santi, or on my website, www.angelasanti.it, like Italy. So I'm super thrilled and super happy to be your guest today. And thanks again for having me.
Awesome. It was a pleasure to speak with you today and to get to know about your business.